Assalamu alaikum and Dzień dobry, brothers and sisters. Today's khutbah summary at Masjid an-Nur was the continuation of last week's khutbah about the Qur'an, but today is about actually following it and putting it into our lives as just something that we do in order to gain more reward from Allah. And the main thing, first you have to read it and you have to understand it. Even if you have to read a translation, if you're not a native Arabic speaker, which I'm not, and if I want to understand what I'm reading in the surahs that I'm learning, I will go to my English translation and read that to get an understanding of the Arabic words, although the English language doesn't actually go far enough. Yeah, because there's just so much in the Arabic that the English just can't pull over. But anyway, understanding the Quran, studying it, reading a lot, I need to do more of that. But now that I can do it with the large print, I can. So I'm very happy about that, alhamdulillah. And but reading it and understanding it is just the first thing, because you have to be able to act on it. There are guidelines in it. There are directions for how to live our lives. And then, of course, the Sunnah expands on that. You know, where there's one ayah in the Quran that says, or a part of it, says, take what the Prophet gives you and avoid what he tells you to avoid, or something like that, something to that effect. Which means, if Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, said that this is part of the religion, you do this or you do it in this way, and then you do it if you are able to do it. If he says to avoid something or avoid doing something in a certain way, then we avoid it, at all possible cost. And that's it's like a guide. It is a guide for our lives. And the Imam said that we gain rewards from Allah just by reading it. Every single letter in the Quran is a reward earner. Even if you read, for instance, in I think the first ayah of some surahs are just letters, like for instance, Alif Lam Mim. They have no translation because they are just the letters, and only Allah knows what they mean. And so even if you read just those three letters, you are earning rewards from Allah. You are storing them up in Jannah, and you will receive them when you go to Jannah, paradise. So that's the start of it. And you act on it when you read something that tells you how to do something. For instance, where one ayah in I think Surah Nisa, tell, O Prophet, tell the believing men to lower their gaze and guard their private parts, and so on. That is a direct instruction. So that means, when a man reads that, he has to act on it. He has to follow that instruction. You know, in another place it says, and the Imam used this particular example, do not drink alcohol. So that is a direct instruction to avoid something. So we avoid that thing. And the more we do that, the more we put the teachings of the Quran into our lives, the better off we will be, the better Muslims we will be, the better citizens we will be in whatever country we're living in. And that will give us an example to the non-Muslims to see those of us who are living the way of the Qur'an and the Sunnah. Of course, we have to add that too, but those of us who are living the way of the Qur'an and the Sunnah, those are the best examples to the non-Muslims to see how Islam really is, and they can see past all the lies and crap and that's spewed by those who choose to hate Islam rather than give it respect. And so that's what he gave more examples about that. And even if you read Surah Luqman, where the parts where Luqman tells his son to do certain things, to avoid certain things, that is not just to him, to Luqman's son, that is to us. We are to also follow that. We can take that as a teaching for our lives. And so that is what following the Quran, living it. We are supposed to live the Quran. And that will be the best example to the non-Muslims to see how Islam really is, as I said. And so that was basically the finishing of this series of the khutbahs on the Quran and taqwa. It still relates to taqwa because fear of Allah, it's not just fear of punishment, but it's a respect. It's a kind of respect. And to respect Allah, we need to read the Quran, we need to live the Quran, we need to be an example of it to other Muslims who are not practicing as well as the non-Muslims, because he also talked about how if parents are not teaching their children how to live according to Islam, then their children will not be good Muslims, and the parents have to be examples. He stressed again, as an example, if you do not pray, how can you expect your children to pray? If the parents are not dressing modestly, how can they expect their children to dress modestly? It's something like that. And so, the parents have to teach their kids how to be good Muslims. They have to be good Muslims themselves in order to be an example for their kids and for the community at large. So, but that was today's khutbah, and it's a reminder to myself because I'm still learning. Each time I hear a khutbah, I am reminded that I need to improve myself, and I try to do that. It'll take time. We'll get there. We all will get there because we never stop learning. And so I hope this is of benefit to you. And as always, anything that's wrong that I say, totally my bad. I can't blame it on Mila. Anything that's good comes from Allah because Allah is the source of all good. And so thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum, do widzenia, and miał Mila.